All right, so I'm going to continue with my blocking. I do need to set my project first, so I'll go to File, and let's make sure we're setting our project. And let's open up our last scene file. And then we saved our blocking poses. So let's open up that text document. And then let's find our reference. Which should have been actually in there. So let's go find that. No idea where I put that. Just get it off Astar. All right, and let's open this up with QuickTime. And I cannot remember where we left off. Let's see. All right, so it looks like we were halfway through here. So we started the jump, and now we need to get the contact or the landing here for the jump itself. Let's go to the side view. And so again, we want to check our arcs here, and if it's helpful, you can use the grease tool or the grease pencil here to sort of match or look at your arc. So I usually like to check the center mass here. As sort of my guideline for this to make sure I have the right sort of arc. I think going forward, I want that sort of pelvic area or that center mass to be somewhere right around in here to get a nice appealing arc here. So again, we don't want this to be too narrow. And so let's go ahead and set that pose. And what frame is that? It's going to be frame 46. So let's go to frame 46. I'm going to pull up the footage here. And then again, to move your entire rig, all we need to do is grab the root, shift select both feet controllers, and then we can translate this over. And so somewhere right about there for now. I'm going to grab these feet controllers, so they should be planted on the ground. I'm going to remove any rotation. So again, usually with the rotate, at least in X for the feet, I only like to do it when the foot is completely lifted off the ground. I won't do it while it's planted or going into a contact. I'll use the heel roll for that. So let's zero that out, and let's bring it down in Y, flatten that to the ground. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other foot. So zero out its rotation that we added and zero out its translate Y. And then let's just look at what the body's doing again here in the reference. So it looks like the feet, again, we're contacting on the back heels. And probably bring this forward a little bit. And then let's grab that toe heel roll on both feet and roll these back. Let's see, I need to set up my split panel again. It's hard to grab that foot when I can't see it. And let's go back to the side view and bring that up like so. And I could probably bring Max forward a little bit. So I'm going to grab both of those feet controllers again and the root. And let's see here. So now I just want to think about what's happening in the rest of the body as we're going into this contact. So it looks like my arms are flying back a little more. So I'm going to bring those out and up a bit and arc the back a little bit more. And let's see, this we can do in perspective, that's fine. So I just like to set that initial pose in the side view just so I can see where my root's at along with my grease pencil marks just to make sure I have a good arc. And then yeah, let's bring these up, and I might actually zero these out. Just again, I like to zero the arms out to avoid accidentally rotating them 360 degrees and getting gimbal lock. And let's see, so again, if the arms are flying up, let's start to build in the overlap in the wrist. So if these are moving back, we want the arms to, or the wrist to go or drag behind. Let's push those shoulders back, or clavicles. So again, we should be touching just about every controller on our rig for every pose. Let's see, what is my head doing? So I'm still looking at the ground. I might push the neck down and straighten the head out a little bit. I want to check the rotations on my spine and hips. So right now the hips or the legs should be even. So I shouldn't really have any rotation, at least not in the this axis here, the y-axis. So let's take that and zero it out. I might tilt it down a little bit here. Again, I want to avoid twinning in the feet, so I might pull one of these just slightly more forward. And then, again, I want to eliminate any sort of twisting in the spine. So again, in this direction here. Let's see, what is that axis? It's going to be X. And that should be good. Let's check this now from our camera just to make sure the silhouette looks appealing. It looks good for the most part. Let me see if I can create a little bit of negative space here in the feet. I may not be able to. We could probably at least grab this one and maybe offset its heel roll to be slightly off of the other one, so we can at least see we have 2 feet. And then I'm getting a nice silhouette on this hand. I think with this one we could maybe push that. So I can at least see the thumb and some of the fingers. And I think that'll be good. Let's go ahead and select all those. If you use Max, be careful. I actually, so I was playing around with this at home the other day, and I noticed that my select all button up here, for some reason it stopped working on the spine. So I'm going to have to recreate this because it's not selecting the spine for some reason. And let's see, let's go back to show all. And let's set a key on all those controllers. Alright, yeah, so be careful with those spines. Just make sure that your shelf button's actually working, because it looked like it wasn't keying all of my spines there. All right, so 46 was our contact or landing. Let's see, 53 is our next pose, and that should be the recoil. So again, we're looking at the recoil, and I'm just really looking at the extreme where the body moves the furthest forward before we start to stand up. And let's see, what are we doing here? It looks like both feet are rolling up on the ball. So let's go ahead and on this pose, let's grab those feet. Let's actually make sure we go to frame 53 first. Let's zero out the toe roll. And let's bring up the ball roll. And then let's offset these a little bit so they're not identical. And let's see, it looks like that root should probably come down and forward. And I might remove that rotation there. And then the spine will bend forward. Yeah, I might actually want to add a little bit of that rotation back there. Let's grab the hips, do the same thing. And then let's see what's happening with the arms. So it looks like the arms are swinging forward and in front. So let's grab these. I'm going to zero them out. I'm going to do the same thing with the wrists. And again, we'll bring them down and forward. And it's hard to tell without the front camera, but it kind of seems like, you know, they almost smack together. And then if I'm thinking about that motion, again, if we're going to build in overlap in the wrist, as those arms are swinging forward, the wrists are probably going to go backwards. So let's take these and push them back. Let's see, let's grab the clavicles and pull them forward. And what's my head doing? So I'm actually starting to lift my head up at this point. So I'm going to rotate that neck back and the head. And then let's check our silhouette. And that's a pretty decent silhouette. So I have a nice negative space here between the arm and leg. I can see both feet and both hands and head. So I think the silhouette looks good. Let's just grab that and set a key. Except for, did I do that on the wrong keyframe? No, okay, we're good. Let's see, 61. So this is going to be a contact. And so at this point I want to look for the planted foot because I know that's the one that shouldn't move. We might change its ball pivot, but other than that the foot itself won't move. So it looks like the left foot stays planted going into 61. So let's go grab that foot and let's lift it up a little more in the ball roll. And then let's grab the other foot. And so we're going in for a contact there. Let's grab it and zero its ball roll out. Oh. And I did it again. I always forget to go to the correct frame first before I start setting my pose. So I'm just going to middle mouse drag from 53 to 61. And then let's grab that foot, let's yank it forward, and let's bring up its toe heel roll for that contact. And at this point the root, we're yanking it up That leg is mostly straight, a little bit of bend, so I'm going to push it forward and up. I definitely want to get rid of that X rotation there on the root. And let's see. So I could probably bring that forward a bit more and up. And let's grab this foot and straighten it out a little bit more by pulling it forward. Let's see, the back's still kind of curved or rotated down. And what are those arms doing? Are they still going? They're actually coming apart now. On 61, but they're still down. So let's rotate these down. And I might actually zero that out. Let's see. So I actually want to bring these in. So if the arms are moving away from the body, again, if we want to overlap the wrists, we'll have them kind of drag behind. And let's see. So now we do have a little bit of opposing action happening in the body. So again, we're always just thinking about the weight and how it shifts and moves. So if I'm thinking about the hips, they should be favoring that right leg there. Let me zero the rotation there and then lean it in towards that leg. Upper body though, so the spine, both arms are still going forward, so I don't really want any twist. Let's add a slight twist. Again, to oppose that right leg. Just slight. And these should still be coming forward. And then let's check that silhouette. Actually, I didn't see. Yeah, the head should be fine. All right. All right, and I think that should be good. Let's go ahead and select those, and on frame 61, hit S to set a key. And what's my next pose? 76. So I think this should be another contact. So again, we're always looking for the planted foot. So it looks like at this point it's the right foot that should stay planted. And it is lifting up on the ball there. So let's grab that right foot, flatten it. And then bring it up on its ball. And let's see how extreme that is. That should probably be just a little bit more. And I did it again. Let's middle mouse click and drag from 61 to 76. I get too excited. I just want to set these poses. That left foot, again, we're going for that contact. So zero that out. And this one's the foot that's moving forward. So let's yank it up here. Bring up that toe roll, or the heel. And then the root should be coming forward. And I want to bring it down a bit. The back's straightening out, so let's go ahead and rotate that up. And let's see what these arms are doing. So at this point, I think they're just kind of coming back. And I'm still kind of pointing my head down. Let's bring these arms back. And in. All right, and let's see. If those arms are going back, these wrists should be going forward. And then we want to check the shift in our weight. So again, I'm going to check the hips. Let's go ahead and zero out the rotation there, and then let's make it favor the forward leg. So we're going to switch that to the left. And then the same thing in the spine here. So I think it's the X, yeah. Let's go ahead and rotate it to the right for a little bit of twist there. That's actually probably too much. And then I'm going to take the clavicles, let's zero those out. So we're going back into more of a neutral pose here. So I probably don't want that extreme forward on the arms, but I might bring them down and just slightly forward. And then let's check that pose. So let's go back to our camera. I think for the most part it's okay. Let me see if I can get a little more visibility on that hand. And then let's separate those a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and grab those and set a key. And I think we only have one more pose left for our first pass, so that's 88. And this is going to be our resting pose. So again, you'll notice I only did 1-2 steps after, and then as soon as that resting pose happens, I stop the animation. So again, I won't require that you guys do if you take several steps after your run and jump. You only really need to do maybe 2 of those steps and then go into a resting pose. I'm kind of a goofball. I wish I hadn't done this, but I kind of turn around and look at the camera. So I guess I have to do that now. Let's see, which foot's the planted foot? So it's our left foot that doesn't move, and it's our right foot that swings forward. So let's go set that real quick. At this point, both feet are actually planted on 88, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that one and flatten it. Let's grab this one and flatten it, and then pull it forward to be with our other foot. And I'm going to have them slightly offset, and then let's grab the root, pull it forward and up a bit to straighten those legs out, but not too straight. Get a little bend in there. The back straightens out, so I'm going to grab both spines. We'll just zero these out. And then maybe add back just slight rotation forward. Those arms come back. Into a resting pose. All right, and let's see. So I'm twisting my upper body. Let's grab this root and we'll twist it a little bit here. And let's grab both spine controllers and do the same thing. And my head. Let's see, let's check those clavicles. So these, I'm going to zero out again, and then I'm going to just rotate them down a little bit into a relaxed position. The hips I haven't touched yet. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of the rotation. Yeah, I actually do want a little bit of that in there. And let's see what that looks like from our camera. Not bad. Bring this in. I'm going to pull that elbow forward a little bit. And then let's bring that whole arm forward. And that wrist back. And I might tilt his head a little bit to straighten it out. I think that's really it. Let's go ahead and grab that and set a key there on 88. And then I'm going to scrub through this real quick just to see what my blocking poses look like. I'm going to do an incremental save. So again, you always do, I would recommend to have at least 2 passes. So again, your first blocking pass is always your key extremes, which in this case is going to be your contacts. And then because we have a jump, it's going to be the anticipation, the arc, and the landing. In the recoil. So we build all those in as our initial keys, and then once we get our initial blocking pass, we'll do one more, and the second blocking pass is really going to be the frames between our key extremes or our first pass. They generally end up being the actual passes. So when our leg is passing the other leg, those generally be those will be our second passing poses or blocking poses. So I'm going to save this incrementally. So I'm going to do a save scene as, and I'm going to do run and jump blocking pass 1. In case I royally screw this up, I can always go back to my first blocking pass. And we'll go ahead and hit save. Now something else I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but I do like to check to see if I hit gimbal lock. So I'm going to select all of my controllers, and I'm going to click here at the end where my very last key is at. And then I'm going to hold shift and then left click and drag from that last key to my first key. With all of my keys selected, I will right click on the timeline and go to tangents. And we're going to temporarily add our in-betweens. So I'm going to hit flat. And then if I play this back, it's going to look terrible. Looks very stiff and rigid, but what I'm really looking for is making sure my arms aren't doing one of these, you know. Let's go back, use our default lighting. Alright, so no gimbal lock, we're good. I'm going to select all of my controllers again. And then I'm going to come down here and select all of my keys, and then we'll right click and we'll set them to stepped again. And then if you set them to stepped, we should be back into our blocking. So again, you don't want to do your blocking passes with in-betweens. I'm just making sure those are off again. All right, cool. I'm going to save that one more time. And then let's start looking at our blocking poses for pass 2. So I'm going to come in here. Blocking pass 2, and let's figure these out. So, you know, like I said, they generally should be between the poses here we did for pass 1. So if my first key was on 0 and my next extreme was on 20, I'm going to guess that my second pass key should start on frame 10. Let's just go ahead and scrub through this and take a look. Yeah, I think 10 will be good. So this is where we're starting to build in our anticipation. So if we look at what I'm doing here, and I mentioned this when we were recording, my body kind of moves back in terms of the center mass here, and my chest comes forward, my arms go back as well. And so we're just kind of anticipating the run here before the jump. And so I want to start building that in. So let's go ahead and key in frame 10 because I know I'll need that one. Let's see. The next one's going to be between frames 20 and 29. So let's just find, I think with that we should be looking for an actual pass. And we have odd numbers too, so it might be hard to find like the literal key in between the two. So we just kind of have to use our best judgment on some of these. And I think with this, I'm going to do 25. And then let's see, the next set, it's going to be 29 and 31. Now, when it starts to become a difference of like 1 or 2 frames, we may not actually need another pose here, but let's see. So 29, 31. I'm not going to do one here. Let's just go to the next set here. So we've got 31 and 39. So I think with this one, what I would like to do is get the pose before that last leg there, or that the leg that's still on the ground. I want to get the pose right before it leaves the ground. So it's probably going to be frame 36. Let's see, the next set here, we've got frames 39 and 46. So it's going to be midway through the jump. I'm going to call it 43. And let's see, frames 46 and 53. I think with this one, I'm going to use the sort of the extreme in positions there. So it looks like these arms come way out and away from my body. So I'm going to look for that sort of extreme pose there. So I'm probably going to call this one 49. And then let's see what happens between 53 and 61. So probably going to do, it's not quite a pass, but that right leg is lifting up. And I'm going to look for the extreme there on that lift. So probably 58 as the furthest that foot moves up. Let's go ahead and call that 58. And then let's see the next set there between 61 and 76. Let's see what happens there. And with this one, I'm just going to look for the pass there. So I'm going to let's do 69. And then let's see, 76 and 88. And I think with this one, I'm going to do We'll do 82. Again, just looking at that foot position, that's probably, I think actually 81 is probably the highest that goes, but I'm still going to do 82. I think that'll be all right. All right. So now we've got our second poses figured out. Let me put these back together. So this is blocking pass 2. I'm going to go to these keys now, or these frames, and start setting the poses I see there. So let's go back to frame 10. And I'll start to move the body forward a little bit here. Start to lean in again. Anticipate this action, and then let's start to bring these arms back. Bring the elbows back. And then the wrists are going to come forward a little bit. Yeah, see what's happening in my head there. Not a whole lot. And let's check that pose. And I think that'll be okay. Let's go ahead and set a key there. And then I'm probably only going to do a couple of these, and then I'm going to stop because it becomes sort of a repetitive process. Once you get the first blocking pass down, most of this is just finding the rest of your poses and then setting them. Let's see, frame 25. Left foot stays planted, and the right foot should be lifting up in for the pass. So let's go to frame 25 here. And let's bring the root forward. Ooh, that looks painful. That left foot at this point, again, this is our planted foot. It's completely flat to the ground, so let's go ahead and zero that out. Let's grab this foot, and I'm going to zero out its ball roll. And then I'm going to pull it forward in for the pass. Pull it up. Now it is lifted up off the ground, so I can rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it in X here. Probably bring the root forward a little more, and I can pull that up a little bit to straighten out that other leg. And it looks like those arms are coming back. Might bring that out a little bit. There's a little more bend in the spine here. Let's take the clavicles. So now we've got the sort of the major part of the pose set. Again, let's start thinking about how the weight is shifting through the hips and spine. So I'm going to zero out that hip controller. And so this is a pass. And again, we want to sort of favor the leg that's lifting on the passes. And so I'm going to twist this up here. For the spine, the shoulders are sort of parallel, or straight at this point, so I don't know if I really need any rotation in X and Z. So it looks like those are already zeroed out. That's fine. The clavicles I do want to bring back for these arms that are coming back. I'm feeling this one's too much. And I'm going to worry about overlapping the feet later. Let's check this pose. I think it'd be nice if I could see this arm a little bit. So I'm going to pull that out. Let's maybe turn the lighting off again. And so we've got some negative space there between the legs and feet. That looks good. Let's go ahead and set a key there. So let's select those and hit S. And let's see, my next one is frame 36. And let's go set that now. So my planted leg is the right leg. And that one's really tilted up there on that that ball. So let's go set that real quick. So if this is my planted leg, let's go ahead and yank it up on its ball. Really push that. Let's grab this one. It's completely off the ground at this point, so this one I can eliminate sort of those foot attributes, and we'll pull it up and pull it forward. And then let's rotate it down in Z. Oh, this one actually goes really forward. Yeah, let's grab that root. So the root's also, it's way up there. So at this point we'll yank it up and pull it forward. And I'm going to use this leg as a guideline. So it looks like there's some slight bend, and sort of the pelvic region here is about even with the knee and in front of the foot. So let's pull that forward here. And I could probably actually extend that even more. The back kind of straightens out. I'm actually going to push that a little bit. And then let's see, what are the arms doing? Oh, they're just flailing up there, huh? And I'm going to zero these out. I'm afraid I'm going to break them. Same thing with these clavicles. Just grab those and zero these out too. And then let's pull them up. Actually, that one's... My head is really pointed down. Let me set that real quick just so I can use it as a reference for my arm positions. Let's see, I'm going to point these wrists down, because again they should be trailing behind this arm as it's going up. And I want to check this from camera. So I think the right arm should come down a bit. And I'm going to tilt that root forward a little bit. Boy, I don't know. I might actually lose this arm in the silhouette. I guess we could push it. So I am going to deviate from my reference a little bit just to make sure I have strong poses. Because in the reference, that arm is actually lined up with my head there, going straight out. But I'm afraid I'm going to lose that hand in my silhouette too much if I try to match that too closely. Yeah, I don't know. We could probably get away with that. And I might lessen the extreme on this if I'm going to have that one down a little lower. Okay. And once we've got that pose and the silhouette looks good, I'm going to grab those and set a key. And so I'm going to go through these real quick, but I'm actually going to stop here. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me do all these. At this point, once you get the first blocking pass done, you should probably have it down. Again, we're just always thinking about what the body's doing as we're going through these poses. Again, shifting our weight and things like that. Always thinking about the planted foot and how that's interacting with the ground. So, in particular poses, is it flat? Is it lifting up on the ball? And, which leg do we need to bring forward? So just always thinking about these things as we're setting our poses. And this will be due for Monday. You won't officially turn it in, but you will want to have these done for Monday. And then on Monday, we'll look at doing our in-betweens, cleanup, and adding overlap, timing, and all that kind of stuff, adding holds where we need it, and just cleaning everything up in the graph editor. So I'll stop here, and the rest of class time will be work time. Oh, thought maybe I wasn't recording.